So this is a first for you, and you're doing junkets all day. You're doing interviews, talking about the film. How's it feeling for you right now?
Yeah, I was just telling the last person that I'm still pinching myself throughout the whole experience. But I've got the best role models right here to the right of me.
Oh,
and
look at that.
I'm just watching how they do it, and I'm just taking notes, and I'm following suit.
Yeah, and the fact that this film's at the film festival too, like this is a huge deal.
Oh, huge.
Yeah. And for the film, first of all, I didn't know what Rez Ball was. So thank you for the introduction, because I had no idea this existed. And it really shows you the journey that they have gone through. And I looked up some stats, and NBA only has 5 Indigenous people in the NBA. And we have to bring that up. And this is the film that I think is going to help do that. So thank you for doing that and telling this story. You bring on a lot of interesting subjects that are, from alcoholism to suicide. These are tough subjects to talk about. Was it hard for you to shoot?
Yes and no. I think these are, really the story that we were telling was based on real life. So one of the big things that was important for myself, for the cast, for the crew, was we wanted to be honest in our portrayal of these things. There's a lot of great things about growing up in an Indigenous community. There are a lot of, not so great things. But it's all those things that have that make the Indigenous experience, and we wanted to show them all.
And do you feel that you've done that with this film?
Well, that will be up to the audiences to decide, right? So hopefully they decide the answer is yes.
Was this film everything you wanted then?
I think in terms of our cast and our crew and the story we got to tell, I could not be more excited.
I love that, yeah. And the tough coach. Was she too tough, you think?
I'm not about to give up on the season. Are you guys with me?
I'm with your coach.
There was kind of conversations, could she be more of that, stereotypical yelling coach all the time? But I was saying Sydney was so supportive of my approach to it too, and which was, you could be tough and calm at the same time, right? There's a temperament between that. And I was deeply influenced by Phil Jackson and the triangle approach, and how he even said in his documentaries and teachings, he was influenced by the Navajo traditions. And so I was like, well, I just want to apply the Navajo Phil Jackson technique here, and that you have to be tough, and of course, being a woman in a predominantly male industry, it's and especially coming in back onto the reservation and dealing with that pressure on top of it. There was that fine balance that I was always teetering on and playing with, and I feel like we found a nice balance. So yeah.
And you're Canadian.
I am. So, I lived in Toronto, Anna, for 8 years.
So this must be even more important to you to tell this story.
Oh, it was incredible. I felt like my acting career really didn't take off until I moved here. And, at one point I was really struggling to even put food on the table for myself, working at a salad bar by Leslie. So I was like, to come back to this area, East Toronto, and come back and to be able to feel so welcomed. I took a moment and I looked to the sky and I was like, thank you, Toronto.
When did you find out about this role?
A year ago, but I had read previously, I think almost 2 years prior to that, but it was, during COVID, right?
During COVID, yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't even sure if the project was moving forward. And, this is typical in our business. So you let it go. And it was an amazing blessing when it came around. And I was actually in the midst of filming the other show I do. And I had always wanted to work with Sydney. So it was just like blessing on blessing.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. And LeBron James' name is on this as a production. I mean, that's huge. Have you guys got to meet him? Has he been on set?
Yeah, he's been really involved and helpful, kind of behind the scenes to push things through. I think one area he's been really helpful with is adding these extra layers of authenticity. We had he has a friend who is a play-by-play call announcer for NBA on ESPN for both radio and television. This gentleman named Adam Amin. He shared the film with Adam, and Adam was so moved by the film, he actually went through all of the games in the movie and did play-by-play calls as if he was calling the games himself. And recorded himself doing that. And we were actually able to take that guide track and hand it over to our actors, our announcer actors, who aren't, obviously they're not real announcers, but we were able to hand that over to them as a guide track, and they were able to call the games, and it added just that extra layer and level of authenticity.
Ultimate question, Michael Jordan or LeBron James, the best player in the NBA?
Well, I never grew up watching Michael Jordan.
Oh.
So,
He was a
you
baby.
know who I'm going with.
You were LeBron.
King James.
Congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.